Hello. This is singles draft. Singles is very different than doubles, and singles draft is very different from, just Gen 9 OU or something like that. So, what is this? What are we looking at? I'm sure you already know, but every week you have your team, and then you have to fight another team. So, let's see who you have to fight next. Da, da. Let's see. You fight Logan. Good luck. No, honestly, yeah, very good chance. So what is the game plan for these sort of things? Well, let's see here. You have honestly a pretty good team. It's a little scary, I'm not gonna lie. What you have here is good offensive sweeper, good offensive sweeper that sets up the sun. It could be support orb, it can sweep. Uh, Venusaur is a fast growth mon that can get shit done in sun. Uh, Treads is one of the best, hazard removers, and he can get up his own hazards too. Rabombi, it gets up webs. That's about it. Having fairy type is nice, but you know, he's not like you're already really fast with a lot of these mons. You don't need webs, so there's that. And then you have like a trick room thing going on here. Trick room's funny, but it's not that good in singles. Uh, but it's always an option. And you have a really good defensive mon. Honestly, your hazard control is very good. With Rotom and Iron Treads, those are two very good mons. And you're gonna need hazard control because you have a Charizard that can't hold heavy duty boots. Heavy duty boots is a great item, by the way. I know in doubles hazards aren't that common, but in singles they're basically everything. And to mention hazards, you have two poison types that are touching the ground, which is also very good. So poison types, they have this mechanic where if they switch in on toxic spikes, it just removes them. So it's good they have two of them, and you have Venusaur and Iron Moth, which are both sweepers, but Venusaur has stats, and this guy just, he's all right. He's not gonna live much, but you can swip it in one or two times. Venusaur, very good. Just growth, uh, Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, and Weather Ball. I'm gonna be real. You can just bring this pretty much every time you bring Venusaur, and you'll do all right. It's a really good mon. It really only gets stopped by Unaware. Obviously, there's other mons that could deal with it, but like Unaware kind of just does hard beat this thing. But there's not too many Unaware mons, I don't think. I think, well, I have two of them, which is funny. But yeah, there's not many Unaware mons. There's Clodsire for typical, but I'm pretty sure you already fought typical. Yeah, I'm not seeing many Unaware guys. Yeah. So, game plan here. How do you win with your team? A lot of things I'm seeing right off the bat. You have fast, reliable pivots. You have Coco. That's really good. Uh, Rotom's not as fast, but sometimes you want to have a scarf. You'd probably do boots on this guy, because your team kind of needs it. Uh, but yeah, Rotom also pivots around, and you kind of just want to set up one of your guys to win. And your win cons here, uh, it's basically just Venusaur, Iron Moth. Charizard is strong and does do a lot of damage, but it's like you need to set up the sun for that, right? And you have to switch in. And if you lead Charizard, that's whatever, that's fine. But like, it's just it's more wall breaking than sweeping, if you get my drift. Coco's good. Papa Specs on this bad boy, pretty good. You could do some damage with that. Uh, Venusaur is also good. You just want to set up your guys to win. I think Stack Attack well, Porygon 2 isn't bad, but I'm assuming you drafted these guys for like Trick Room stuff, which I mean, your team's so fast, you don't need Trick Room, and you're realistically going to be in a situation, right, where Stack Attack is in, you click Trick Room, and Stack Attack dies to a 4 times super effective fighting type move or ground type move, and then the rest of your fast guys are now slow. So you could bring Stack Attack into games. Like it has other stuff. Like it could do body press stuff. It could do rock blast. Like it could do stuff. Don't get me wrong, But I think like the hard Trick Room stuff is, unless you want to flex, but it's not worth it, I don't think. He's pretty good. He's strong mon. Really good defense stat. Um, yeah, Rotom. This is like your guy right here. You're gonna like this guy. So some possible sets you could do boots. Got Volt Switch. Really good pivot move. Defog in this is really nice. Rotom has Overheat, which in the sun is going to be doing a lot. What else can you do? You can Toxic. You can Wisp. Yeah, Wisp. Your team is very hyper offense, which is fine. You also have a lot of guys that are like just click, move, and go. Like you have Treads who he doesn't mind having a booster energy. It's pretty nice for him. Uh, You have Charizard, which sets up Sun, is like go go go. While Moth, it can be either booster or have the Sun because of that, or Terrain too. Honestly, pretty good, scary mon right there. Yeah, you just I think the mons you don't want to usually be bringing are Rabombi, Stack Attacka, and Porygon 2. Well, Porygon 2 is not bad, but like you can't have like your Trick Room mode. Porygon 2 is probably a little different than what you'd expect from doubles. You know, it has like the Trick Room, Terra Blast, that kind of stuff. Foul Play maybe, Recover, I don't know, stuff like that. Porygon 2 in singles is annoying. So you're gonna do Ice Beam, Thunderbolts, not Thunder, Thunderbolts, Tri Attack. Actually, yeah. Is Tri Attack better than Terra Blast? I'm not sure. You could swap that out for Tri Attack, Terra Blast, whatever. Then like you want like some sort of disruption. So like you want T Wave is not bad. You're probably not running all three of these attacks. You're probably picking two out of the three. Uh, so yeah, you can get rid of. I don't know. It depends. You know, let's see. Into Logan, I'm pretty sure Logan has a lot of water types, so you'd probably not want Ice Beam. I don't know. Team info. Where's Logan? Da, da. Did I skip over him? I know he has a fish. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, you really don't need Ice Beam. Yeah, so in that case, like Ice Beam is probably the one you drop, but like you want Recover. That's really big. Porygon 2 with the Eviolite, really bulky. You can do Trace or Download. Don't pick Analytic. It's a noob trap. Analytic seems good. It's really not, because let's see here. Trace, you could steal a really good ability. Trace is not bad, but Download. Oh wait, 1.5 times power. That's better than Analytic, and I don't have to rely on going second. Oh, that's pretty good. So Porygon 2, really good bulk, and it just gets better with Eviolite, right? So say there's like a really strong Mon, right? There's a Palafin. Well, you don't really beat Palafin, but you know, you can chip it. Chip damage is actually really vital in singles. It's also important in doubles, don't get me wrong, but it's a different kind of chip. It's more like you chip your threats until you have Mon in the back that can just kind of clean up. That's kind of, especially for your type of team, that's how you'd probably play it. Uh, let's go over the roles of these guys. This guy, you know, there's not much you could do with this guy. He has obviously Toxic Spikes. That's something you can do to beat teams that don't have a ground poison type. But mainly you're just gonna be running, you know, specs. I don't know why you don't just do this every week. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Just do this every week and you're gonna beat like half the people. You know, Fiery Dance, Giga Drain. Oh wait, no, Energy Ball. Energy Ball, Sludge Bomb. Does it get wave? No, oh it does get wave. Sludge Wave, and last moves could be whatever. U-turn is not probably not bad. Dazzling Gleam if they have like a strong dark or fighting type. You know, that type of stuff. Unfortunately, it doesn't get Rising Voltage. If he did, that would be fucked up. Uh, but yeah, pretty good. This guy, there's not much flexibility. Just this kind of stuff. Very nice. You could do swap out one of the moves for U-turn for extra pivot. Charizard. Alright. Fire Blast. What does Charizard really do? I mean, it obviously just yeah. If you're actually Weather Ball's probably better. Depends. Weather Ball's a little bit of a new trap because if you're in, like you have to swap in Charizard as Sun's about to end, then you just don't have Fire Stab. But you could do like Weather Ball, Fire Blast, stuff like that. Charizard doesn't really have good coverage. I believe he gets Focus Blast, right? Yeah. Focus Blast. Scorching Sands, I believe he gets. Yeah, he does. But basically, this guy is here just to help you set up your Sun. And if ever you're ever confused about sets, you could do Smogon, Charizard, Y. And then you'll see a set that people commonly run. Let's see here. So Charizard Y, let's look in Scarlet Violet. Uh, that's normal Charizard. I want National Dex. Alright, National Dex Mega Charizard. Da da da. So you get Weather Ball, Flamethrower, Fire Blast. Any one of those moves. Scorching Sands, Solar Beam. Those are good. Roost. Honestly, Roost for your team is probably pretty good. You have good hazard control, and you want to be switching in Charizard multiple times to make sure you can get your Sun back up. So yeah, something like this. You can bring it to most weeks, and you'll be fine. Uh, yeah, whatever. Weather Ball, Solar Beam, Roost. Yeah, something like that. And you literally just go max max. It doesn't make too much of a difference. Uh, yeah, make sure you have odd HP. Helps with the stealth rock damage. Don't explain it, just make sure you have odd HP. Tapu Go. This is one of your more versatile mons. You could, you know, throw on a Specs on this guy and just do Thunderbolts, Volt Switch, uh, whatever, Thunderbolt Dazzling, and last move probably Grass Knot. Can't do Hidden Power. Hidden Power's banned. Uh, yeah, probably just Grass Knot. Yeah, Grass Knot works. If the team does not have a Ground type Pokemon, Logan does, but say he didn't, Volt Switch is free, or obviously Electric Immune like a Volt Absorb or Motor Drive, something like that. Volt Switch is free, but if there are like good Ground type threats, you want U-turn. That would allow you to switch in Venusaur, and being able to switch into Venusaur on the ground type that threatens Coco is very nice. Uh, alright, Venusaur. You know what this guy does. I already went over him. Gross setup sweeper. There's other stuff you could do. You could do bulkier sets. But for this type of team, I mean, you can do a bulky set. It gets toxic. It gets synthesis. Synthesis in the sun's actually pretty good. Pretty scary. Sleep powder if you want to gamble. Yeah, not bad. There are some bulkier sets, but probably just stick to this. Something similar. Treads. This is your guy. You could do not boots. That is a move. Uh, you don't want to run Ice Spinner because you don't want to break your own terrain. So typically you just do Earthquake, Iron Head, Spin, Rocks. This is good. It's a good set. Nothing wrong with this. Probably just go max speed or enough speed to speed creep. Oh, speed creeping. That's pretty important for mons like Venusaur. So let's say I go max speed timid, right? This number times 2, very fast. Basically outspeeds everything. So the fastest mon in the format is, I believe, Dragapult? Or besides Regieleki, I guess. But Dragapult is probably the fastest relevant guy. I know I already fought typical, but just say it for whatever purposes. Timid hits 421. So let's see here. 421, 422 divided by 2. You want to hit a speed stat of 211. Alright. Let's see here. Oh, you're already way past 211. You could probably even, yeah, you can go modest. Yeah. So, what you can do, go 211 speed, and that ensures that you outspeed Dragapult, which would be the fastest mon, not accounting for Scarf, of course, but you're a little slow if you're not in the sun, right? So, you're probably gonna have sun up always, but enough speed to outspeed like a slower threat is also good, but that's basically what speed creeping is. There's that. Treads. You could do a lot of different things. You could do AV on this guy. It's pretty good. You could do boots just to make sure you don't take any more hazard damage, but it's not like that important for him. You could do berry, guave, citrus, not bad. Life orb, leftovers, not bad either. Helmet's actually pretty good for like being a physical wall. So you could do like max. You don't even need max speed, but it's nice. You could go bulkier, put a helmet, put boots on, put AV, stuff like that. For this, I would definitely recommend like a bulkier one because you want to be able to like switch in and spin. Because you have a lot of spin weak mons, hazard weak mons, I mean. So yeah, stuff like that. Quark drive. Actually, I completely forgot you have quark drive electric train. That's pretty scary. You definitely just go like quark drive attack, I think. Yeah, just yeah. This is actually a sweeper. Yeah, that's pretty good mon. You could do different things. This is a very versatile mon. You can do a lot of different things. You can go fast, offensive, sweeper, stuff like that. Yeah, with the terrain, it's pretty scary. You could do adamant, or no, jolly max speed with uh, choice band. Not bad. You get some good damage off. Stuff like that. Rabombi, I don't see a reason why you bring this guy unless there's like a lot of fairy weak mons. It's a decent special attacker, right? 95's not that hard, but you got really good stab in Moonblast, right? I think he gets Quiver, right? Yeah, he gets Quiver. So hey, you could set up. It's not bad. Obviously, what this guy mainly does is psychic noise, webs, U-turn, last move, probably just Moonblast, right? This is something that's like pretty pretty understandable. You want shield dust so you don't get like fake out stuff like that. Uh, yeah, this one, you know, not that not that crazy. You just timid, max speed, or just speed creep, whatever last threat is. Yeah, pretty pretty basic. You can do like quiver dance. That is quick attack. Quiver dance. Moonblast. Blah blah blah. Draining kiss gets those moves. Toxic's actually pretty good on this guy. You can toxic threats. Stack attack. This guy is going to be an Iron Defense Body Press Mon. That's what this mon does in singles. I think you have Terra on this guy. And Terra Water Iron Defense Body Press is actually pretty good. You don't have access to reliable healing, which kind of sucks. But, you know, it's not the worst thing. He gets Sub, Toxic, Trick Room, that kind of stuff. Rock Blast. Yeah, he's alright. Nothing crazy. Porygon 2, I went over. Alright, so let's talk game plan here. Switching, just like in doubles, is very important in singles. However, where it differs is you kind of like switch to on a threat to make double switching is way more common, right? Because in doubles, there's the threat of two Pokemon across the field, right? In singles, there's only one. And say, let's look at a replay here, right? Okay, I'm not gonna find a good way of finding it here. Switching is really important. You want to position your threats, and sometimes that requires a double switch. So let's see in this situation here, right? So Garg is threatening Assault Cure on you, and you're 4 times weak. You're gonna take chip damage. Nothing really wants that. Garg is also kind of messed up mon for a situation like this, just because it does a lot of chip damage. So if I was building your team, I would probably do like uh uh what's the item? The one that blocks secondary effects. Covert Cloak. I would probably do Covert Cloak Venusaur, so I can help deal with this more often. But that's just a team building thing that has to be learned. Uh, so this mon clicks all cure, right? Uh, and if I had the Assault Vest, not Assault Vest, Covert Cloak Venusaur, I switch in Venusaur, Soul Cure. They see, oh, they have Covert Cloak because Soul Cure did no extra damage. Let me switch out into a Pokemon that can actually beat Venusaur. Which I mean, they don't really have one that beats Venusaur. Venusaur actually kind of goes crazy into their team. But say they had him on like, let's just say Flamethrower Hydreigon. That doesn't do horrible, right? If they had Flamethrower Hydreigon, Venusaur is weak to Flamethrower, obviously. You can switch in. right? And probably deal with Venusaur if it's from full, right? So you're in this situation, right? You're switching out into Venusaur because of the Salt Cure, right? And then they see, hey, Garganacl doesn't really do anything to Venusaur. I'm gonna switch out into Hydreigon on the Grass type move and hit you with Flamethrower, right? What you can do is you could switch back into someone else that can actually deal with that flamethrower. So that's where like the mind game comes in, right? So say you're like max Porygon 2, like max special defense, max HP Porygon 2, maybe to put a little bit of special attack so your moves to actually do damage. Uh, Hydreigon's not going to really be doing much to that, right? And you can just recover off the damage. So like you can switch in Porygon 2, you can switch in Charizard, you have Dragon Pulse on this guy, you can switch in Charizard, stuff like that. Um, it's pretty good. And Ice Beam, honestly, there's no good Ice Beam switch-ins. There's Inteleon, but if Sun's up, it's not going to be doing much. Salazzle is weakened in this situation, so it doesn't want to take an Ice Beam. Yeah, Ice Beam looks really good here. So that's just like a situation, right? And I'm gonna show you a replay I had against Typical. There was a moment where is it? I want to switch viewpoints. Da da da. All right, I think it was here. No, it wasn't. Da 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 da. So I see Typical's U-turning a lot here, right? Because he wants the momentum, and U-turn's a great pivot move. Gives you a lot of momentum. And see, that would have been a great play for me if he hit me with Shadow Ball. I Shadow Ball him back and do a lot. Uh, so in this situation, I'm trying to get to the points. Okay, it was here. So I'm like, hey, Typical's been switching up with U-turn a lot, and I really want some of these threats gone. So I'm gonna make the play that he's gonna U-turn here, right? And it's like, okay, he can U-turn here, and that would give me a really good position because not a lot of his mons are equipped to deal with Dugtrio right now. I didn't know this, but he has Shed Shell on this guy, but it doesn't matter because I'm faster and he's weakened. Floor just dies. Uh, Clodsire also. I don't know if it probably. Yeah, I'm Choice Man. It dies from 100%. That dies. Dragapult is here. That's also like, Monda doesn't want to take Sucker Punch, that kind of stuff. So, also, Earthquake might have killed from here. A thing I was playing for against Typical was before he got rid of the hazards, he was taking a lot of chip damage on Dragapult, which was something that I was like, okay, well, if I get enough chip damage on Dragapult, I can clean up with Terapagos or Latias, right? So it's really kind of just like a game of chipping down the opponent team and letting your Mon in the back kind of deal with it. And you have Venusaur, which is a great sweeper for that. You have Charizard, which can muscle through things. You have Koko, which if you put a Specs on is actually pretty threatening. So yeah, uh, yeah. So let's get to the play. So I'm making the call that U-turn he will click U-turn this turn, switch out into a threat that will not want it because obviously this is like the Dugtrio switch in. He could foul play me, which is definitely a thing that could be happening, but it's such a unlikely turn for him because I have Stone Edge, and he knows I have Stone Edge because I revealed it. So he's not gonna want to risk it, even though Mana Bust takes it decently well. Uh, for a Choice Band, super effective move, right? But he still doesn't want to take the extra damage because then he has to roost it off, blah blah blah. Not great. So I'm calling the U-turn here. That's a play that I was willing to risk because I don't think foul play should. I don't think it should kill me without a crit. It'll be close, but I don't think it does. Um, whatever. The point is, you make the risky play, and that gives you great leverage. So he U-turns on me like I thought he would. Then he goes Dragapult. I'm Sucker Punch. Dragapult dies at this percentage. So that gave me a lot of middle ground. So that's kind of like just how like switching and stuff like that can help you succeed in singles. So there's that. Boom. Sucker Punch. Dead. Awesome. Crit didn't matter. I was choice banned. So yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. If you have any questions, let me know. You do not have a Dragon Bolt. Yeah, there you go. Oh, and one more thing. Uh, so counter teaming. So the biggest thing I'd say in counter teaming is just looking at what you can hit hard and speed tiers, right? So Logan doesn't have really many fast mons. He has Palafin, which is base 100, Kartana, which is 109, and this is all just information you could look up, right? I believe Psychostar is 121, but it's not like that offensively threatening, so you don't need to worry about that guy. Dodrio is like a base 100 or 110, something like that. Huntail's a Swift Swim mon. So those are just some things you need to be aware of. Zapdos, I believe, is 100 or 90, one of the two. So 100 is a really good speed stat that you want to beat. Um, yeah, but there's things like Scarfers, right? So common Scarfers are like Scarf Kartana, or that's really kind of it for this type of team. You don't really want to Scarf Elephant. Yeah, that's kind of it. But the point still stands. So there is like the threat of like a Scarf Kartana. So what I would do is I would have my Venusaur here with how much speed does a Kartana hit? Kartana, Jolly, 252, 348, 348 times 1.5, which is the speed boost. So it hits 522 speed. Can Venusaur hit that with Chlorophyll? Probably. Oh yeah, times 2. You hit 568, 522. So you are faster with Venusaur. That's good. So you'd probably just run enough speed. So Venusaur at 2 times speed is not almost probably somewhere around here. Venusaur at 2 times speed can outspeed a Kartana. So that's like this kind of counter teaming that I would do. Like make sure I'm consistently faster or have ways to be faster. Looking at Logan's team, he has a water weak slash freeze dry right there. Another ice weakness, ice weakness. He's really weak to ice, dang. So yeah, he has a lot of ice weaknesses, so he's probably gonna have like Politoed or something like that. Deoxys is not an ice resist, but it can be if you're just bulky enough, right? Uh, so yeah, just like look at their weaknesses and think of what you can bring to beat that. So, he's weak to grass on that guy. Weak to grass here. Uh, he's not weak to too much. He's not that bad. Da, da, da. Zapdos. So for someone like Venusaur, you would probably, you definitely want. Yeah, I think this moveset's just fine, right? So like you have Giga Drain for just strong stab move. You can hit Palafin and Huntail and those mons. Oh, Weather War. That's something you got to figure out. That's a little too complicated for right now. But yeah, you just have your strong stab moves, stuff like that. Cool. What am I looking for? Right. So yeah, it's just like that's kind of how counter teaming works. I would recommend just looking up the common single sets that will like the Pokemon use. Something that might mix you up is like Kartana Lynch knockoff. Look up like all the knockoffers. Look up all the mons that get hazards. So I believe it's just Deoxys, Rhyperior. I believe it's just those guys. This guy gets hazard removal. Uh, this guy gets hazard removal. This guy gets hazard removal. Yeah. So some things I want to take away from counter teaming, right? You pay attention to the speed tiers, right? Pay attention to things that are like common sets, so like bulky Zapdos with like Discharge, Roost, Heat Wave, something like that. Probably not Heat Wave on this team because it's a rain team, but my point still stands. Roost, bulky, static, whatever. Kartana, be like aware of like Scarf if you would run it. He does have like rain, so that's not like that crazy. He has priority with Palafin too. Swiss from Huntail is also a thing, so just be aware. It could be Scarf, it could not be. Just prepare for it. Deoxys defense, bulky. Honestly, knock it off, and then I don't know, fucking deal with it. The mon's not that good. Rhyperior. I don't know what Litham's gonna cook up for Rhyperior. Drapion. That gets hazards. That gets toxic spikes. Always bring a grounded poison type if you are going against someone that has toxic spikes, because it's very easy to lose games if you just have poison chip. If you have poison chip, you just lose. Aromatisse is a bulky Wish Passer. Politoed sets up, I don't know, it just sets up the rain. It doesn't really do much. It can do Perish Song stuff, but whatever. Psychozar, hazard removal, knockoff, decent support mon. I think Shed banned, so you don't need to worry about that. Dodrio is just a offensive, strong, normal flying type with fighting coverage. And Huntail, Swift Swim, Shell Smash Mon. So yeah, that's kind of just like the thoughts I'm going through. Make sure I have enough to counter each Mon, or the Mons I think that are likely to come. That's also a pretty important thing in draft. Like the threat of a Pokemon coming is sometimes better than like the Pokemon actually coming. So I had to fight Cable, right? And Cable has like the anti-sweep Pokemon, which is Ditto, right? Where is Cable? Yeah, Cable. So Ditto, as you might know, transforms into your opposing Pokemon, copies all their stat boosts. So if I set up with a Pokemon, he steals my boost, and then he could just reverse sweep me back. So I was here to bring setup into him. So it's like the preparing. Half the battle is actually the battle. Half the battle is also just team building. So you just have to build a good team into the opponent's team. Be aware of speed steers. Be aware of common sets. Be aware of all that kind of stuff. Cool? Cool.